The air was thick with dust and smoke. The alien marketplace was alive with noise. Creatures from 100 worlds shouted prices, argued and fought over small goods. Cages lined the street, each filled with the unwanted, the weak, the broken. In the corner of the slave row sat two small figures, thin and pale, their alien skin marked with dirt and bruises. They were twins, no older than 10 in human years. Their eyes were large and filled with fear. No one wanted them. No one even looked at them. Too weak, one alien trader muttered, pointing at the twins with disgust. They will not work. They cannot fight. They are useless, the crowd laughed. Some buyers shook their heads, others walked past. The twins pressed their heads together, trying to hide from the stares. They had heard these words too many times. Worthless, weak, nothing. At the far end of the market, a human merchant walked slowly through the rows. His clothes were simple, his hands rough from work. He was not rich, he was not powerful, yet his eyes were sharp. Always searching, he had not come to buy. He had only come to sell a few small goods. But as he passed the cages, his steps slowed. His eyes stopped on the twins. The moment stretched. The twins looked back at him. Their eyes glowed faintly under the dusty light, not bright enough for others to notice, but the human saw it. A strange shimmer that made his heart pause. He frowned. Why did these children feel different? Why did he feel something in his chest he could not explain? The trader noticed his interest and quickly barked. You want them human? Take them cheap. They eat more than they're worth. Even rats have better value. The human stayed silent. He studied the twins, their small hands gripping the cage bars, their thin bodies trembling, and yet deep inside their eyes, there was not only fear, there was something else. A quiet fire, a hidden strength. The crowd laughed again. Foolish human, no one wants rejects, why waste your credits? But the human reached into his pouch, pulled out the few coins he had and placed them on the table. The trader blinked. Are you serious? They are worthless. The human spoke softly. Not to me, gasps moved through the crowd. Whispers spread like fire. Did you see that? The human actually bought them. Why would anyone waste money on trash? He must be mad. He must not know what he's doing. The twins' eyes widened as the cage door creaked open. They had expected another cruel master, someone who would beat them, sell them again, or throw them into the mines, but instead, the human knelt down in front of them, his voice low and steady. You are safe now. Come with me. The twins hesitated, their small fingers tightened together. They looked at each other unsure. Could they trust him? Or was this another trick? Slowly, the human reached out his hand, waiting, not forcing, not rushing. One of the twins, the smaller one, placed a trembling hand in his. The other followed. And for the first time in years, someone helped them stand. The crowd sneered, some laughed. Others shook their heads. He will regret this. He does not know what he has taken. But the human ignored them. He walked forward with the twins at his side. As they stepped out of the market, the wind carried faint whispers behind them. Whispers the human could not hear. Why did he take them? Doesn't he know who they are? Keep your voice down if anyone finds out. Their bloodline is dangerous, better they stayed hidden. The human glanced down at the twins again. He felt a strange chill in his chest. He did not understand why, but he knew one thing. These children were not ordinary. The twins kept their heads low, but their glowing eyes flickered once more, this time brighter only for a second. No one else noticed, but the human did, and in that silent moment deep inside, he knew his life would never be the same. The market of rejects had just given him a destiny he never asked for, and the galaxy had no idea what had just begun. The sun dipped low behind the jagged towers of the alien city. The market was closing. Traders counted their coins. Guards herded the last slaves into darkness, and yet, one scene still burned in every witness's mind. The foolish human had bought the twins. The human walked slowly through the crooked alleys. His boots crunching on broken stone, the twins followed close, their small hands clinging to his cloak as if it was the last rope keeping them alive. They did not speak, not a single word, their faces hidden beneath their tangled hair. Their bare feet scraped on the ground. Every sound made them flinch, every shadow made them tremble. But the human walked steady, his grip firm on the small bundle of goods he carried. His thoughts heavy. Why did I do this? He asked himself. He had little money left. He had no place fit for children. Yet when he looked at their fragile forms, he could not turn away. Behind him, whispers still followed, some from curious merchants, some from cruel buyers. He will regret it, the twins are cursed. No one keeps them long. Maybe he doesn't know what they are. Maybe he will be dead before dawn. The human ignored the words, but unease grew inside him. At last they reached his small home, a crooked hut on the edge of the trade quarter. Built from scrap wood and iron plates, inside was nothing more than a low fire, a table and a single bed. The twins froze at the doorway, their wide eyes staring at the fire as if it might leap at them. "It's safe," the human whispered. He set down his bundle, lit a small lamp, and poured water into a cracked bowl. "Wash yourselves. Eat something." He pushed forward a piece of bread, rough and stale but still food. The twins stared, their small fingers trembling. Then slowly they broke the bread in half, each giving the other a share. The human watched, a strange ache in his chest. How many times had they gone hungry? How many times had they been left to starve? Finally, the older twin spoke, her voice soft and cracked. Why did you buy us?" The human sat down, his rough hands resting on his knees. "Because no one else would," he answered simply. The twins exchanged a glance. Their eyes glimmered faintly in the firelight, not only with tears but with something the human could not name. "People fear us," the younger whispered. "They say we bring ruin." The human leaned forward, his voice calm. "Do you bring ruin?" The twins shook their heads quickly, almost in panic. "No, we do not. We only want to live." Something about their desperation struck him. He had seen liars before, cheats and thieves in the markets, but these eyes did not lie. He placed his hand on the table, palm open. "Then you will live, and you will live free. No one will cage you again." For a moment, silence filled the room. Only the crackle of the fire spoke, then, very slowly, the younger twin slid her small hand into his. The older followed. It was not trust, not yet. But it was the beginning of something neither of them understood. Outside, night deepened. Footsteps echoed through the street. Shadows lingered at the window. Eyes watched from the dark. Inside, the human tried to rest, but unease twisted his gut. Why would strangers care about two unwanted children? Why had the crowd reacted with whispers instead of laughter? At midnight, a sudden sound broke the silence. A faint hum like a string pulled tight. The human opened his eyes. He saw the younger twin standing near the broken lamp, her small hand hovering over it. The dead glass flickered, light sparked, and suddenly the lamp glowed bright. The human froze, his breath caught. The girl gasped and pulled her hand back. The lamp dimmed again, her eyes wide with terror. "Please don't tell, don't send us away." The human's heart pounded. Power raw and unnatural had just surged from her small hand. He swallowed hard, his mind racing. So that was why they were unwanted. That was why people whispered, not because they were weak, but because they carried something dangerous, something rare. The older twin rushed to her sister's side, shielding her with thin arms. "We will not hurt you, we swear." "Please don't give us back." The human stared at them, then slowly shook his head. "I will not give you back." Both twins froze, their mouths parting in disbelief. "You don't fear us," the younger whispered. "I fear many things," the human said, his voice steady. "But not children, not you." Tears filled their eyes. Their small bodies shook. They pressed close to him, for the first time feeling something they had never felt. Safety. But outside, the shadows moved again, dark shapes gathering near the alley. Strange voices muttered in low tones. "The human has them. He must not know what they are. We should take them back before it's too late." The twins clung tighter to him, unaware of the danger drawing near. And the human sat awake, staring into the flickering fire, knowing deep in his bones that by choosing them, he had just stepped into a storm he could never escape. The night outside was restless. The wind carried the smell of smoke and dust. Every shadow stretched long against the crooked walls of the human's small hut. Inside, the twins lay on a thin blanket near the fire, their fragile bodies curled together, their eyes half closed, but they were not asleep. The human sat on the floor, leaning against the wall, his eyes heavy but alert. He had lived many nights in danger, but something about this one felt different, as if the darkness itself was watching him. From the corner he heard a whisper, soft and strange, the kind of sound that makes the skin crawl. It was the twins, speaking in low voices, their language flowing like water. Filled with rhythm and secrets, he frowned. He did not understand the words, but the sound pulled at him. It was not ordinary speech. It felt like an echo, like something more. One of the twins reached out, her thin fingers brushing against a broken piece of metal on the ground. The scrap was lifeless, dull, cold. Yet as her touch lingered, A faint glow spread across its surface. Lines of light danced like veins under the skin of the metal. The human's breath caught, his eyes widened. The younger twin whispered harder, her voice trembling but filled with strange power. The older joined in, their words weaving together, and suddenly the glow brightened. The broken piece lifted slowly from the floor, floating in the air. The human almost rose to his feet, his heart pounding. The twins stopped at once. The scrap fell with a soft clang. Their eyes shot toward him, fear flashing across their faces. "Please," the older whispered, her voice shaking, "don't send us away." "Don't tell anyone." The younger clutched her sister's hand tightly. "They will kill us if they know." The human stared, his chest heavy, his mind racing. He had seen machines, weapons, engines, but he had never seen children move objects with nothing but their will. "What are you?" he whispered back, not with anger, but with wonder. The twins shrank against the wall, their glowing eyes dimming. Silence stretched until the fire crackled. We are nothing," the younger said. "We are mistakes." The human shook his head slowly. "Mistakes do not make light dance. Mistakes do not lift metal." The older twin's lips trembled. Tears welled in her eyes. "That is why no one wants us. That is why they call us cursed. They say our kind brings death." He leaned closer, his voice firm. "Children are not curses." They blinked at him, as if they could not believe what they heard. No one had ever spoken to them this way. No one had ever looked at them without disgust. But before more words could pass, a sharp sound came from outside. A scrape of boots on stone, whispers in the alley. The human's hand went to the knife at his belt. His body stiff, he crept to the cracked window. Peering through the wooden slats, in the darkness, 3 shadowy figures stood, their cloaks long, their heads low. One of them held a glowing device, pulsing red. "Are you sure?" one muttered, his voice rough. "The children are inside here." "Yes," another answered. "The human took them. The fool doesn't know what blood runs in their veins." The human's chest tightened. Blood, they had spoken of blood. "Not power, not curse, but blood," the third figure hissed. "We should take them now before they awaken, before their gift grows. If the wrong people discover—" "Quiet," the first snapped. "Even walls have ears." The human pulled back, his breath heavy. He turned to the twins, their eyes wide with terror. They had heard too. The older twin whispered, "They found us again." The younger's body shook, her voice breaking. "We cannot go back, we cannot. They will burn us." The human crouched before them, his hand on their shoulders, steady and strong. "You are not going back, do you hear me? I will not let them touch you." The girls clung to him, trembling, tears streaming down their faces. Outside, the shadows moved closer. Boots scraped, metal clinked. The human's mind raced. He was only one man, one knife, no soldiers, no allies. But as he looked into the frightened faces of the twins, he knew there was no choice. He whispered, "Stay behind me." No matter what happens, the firelight flickered. Shadows stretched long. The sound of the door latch began to creak. The twins pressed close, their glowing eyes brightening again. Faint light flickered in their hands, unsteady but real. The human gripped his knife tighter, his heart thundering. He did not know who these children truly were. He did not know what secret flowed in their blood. But he knew one thing with absolute certainty. He had chosen them, and now he would fight for them, even if it meant facing the dark itself. And in the still silence before the storm, the whispers of power rose again, soft and haunting, filling the night with a promise of danger and destiny. The door shuddered under a sudden knock. Heavy and sharp, the human froze, knife in hand, his heart hammering. The twins clutched his cloak, their small fingers digging into the fabric. Another knock came, louder this time, then a harsh voice, "Open, human!" By order of the city guard. The human's jaw tightened. He whispered quickly to the twins, "Hide under the table, stay low. Do not move." The twins slid silently across the floor, their glowing eyes dimming in fear. They pressed against each other beneath the old wooden table, small bodies trembling. The human stepped to the door, his knife hidden behind his back. He pulled the latch and opened it just a crack. 3 figures stood outside, cloaked in dark armor, their helmets glowing faintly red. City enforcers, but their eyes were not on him. They were searching the shadows behind him. "What do you want?" the human asked, his voice low and steady. One soldier leaned forward, his face hidden beneath the visor. "You bought 2 slaves today." "Twins," the human's chest tightened. "And what of it?" "They are not yours to keep," the soldier growled. "They belong to higher hands. Hand them over and we leave in peace." The human's grip on the knife tightened, anger rising in his chest. "I paid for them. They are mine now. A cold laugh echoed from the second soldier. You fool. Do you even know what you took into your home? The human said nothing, but the silence was answer enough. They are dangerous, the third soldier hissed, born of a bloodline that should have died long ago. If you value your life, step aside. The human's blood ran cold. The whispers from the market, the shadows in the alley. It was true. These twins carried a secret larger than he imagined. But as he glanced at the table at the two small faces peeking out in terror, he knew his answer. No, he said firmly, his voice like stone. You will not take them, the first soldier snarled. Then you will die with them. The door burst open with a crash. The soldier stormed inside, blades drawn. The human moved fast, his knife slashing upward, sparks flying as steel met steel. The room erupted into chaos. The firelight danced wildly. Shadows clashed against walls. The twins whimpered under the table, their hands gripping each other tightly. The human fought with all his strength. He blocked, dodged, struck, his blade cutting shallow wounds into armor. But the soldiers were trained, stronger, faster. Each strike pushed him back. One soldier lunged, the blade grazing his arm. Blood spilled warm and fast, but the human did not fall. He roared, slamming his shoulder into the attacker, sending him crashing against the wall. The twins' eyes widened. Glowing brighter in the dark, they whispered hurriedly, their strange language filling the room. The broken lamp on the table rattled. The fire flared. The second soldier turned, pointing his weapon at the children. No! The human shouted, his body moving before his mind. He threw himself between the soldier and the twins, his knife sinking deep into the attacker's chest. Armor cracking, the soldier fell with a grunt. The room filled with smoke, flames rising from the overturned lamp. Heat burned against their faces. Run! The human ordered, grabbing the twins by their arms, dragging them from under the table. The last soldier cursed, lunging forward. But before his blade could strike, a blinding flash filled the room. The twins screamed in unison, their hands outstretched. And the broken pieces of metal scattered across the floor suddenly lifted, spinning violently in the air. They shot forward like arrows, slamming into the soldier, throwing him backward through the door. The street outside erupted with shouts, more shadows running toward the fire. More soldiers rushing in. The human grabbed the twins tighter. We must go now. They stumbled into the alley, smoke rising behind them. The city lit with chaos. Boots thundered on stone, torches flared, orders shouted, find them. Do not let them escape. The human ran, his blood dripping, his heart burning, the twins' small feet barely keeping up. They clung to him with everything they had, through the maze of alleys. Over broken walls into the night they fled, every corner filled with danger. Every shadow a hunter. The twins whispered again, their strange voices trembling but strong, small sparks of light flickering at their fingertips. Guiding the way, the human glanced at them, breath ragged, sweat stinging his eyes. He did not understand their power. He did not know the truth of their blood, but one thing was clear. The city would never stop hunting them, and he, a simple human with nothing but a blade and his will, had just become the only shield between them and the world. As the night swallowed them whole, the hunt began, and the galaxy's darkest secret stirred awake. The night stretched on as the human led the twins far beyond the burning market quarter. Their small feet stumbled on broken stones. Their breaths came sharp and ragged, but they did not let go of his hand. He pushed them forward into the shadows of an abandoned warehouse, rusted beams rising above like skeleton ribs, broken glass scattered across the ground. Here the noise of soldiers was muffled. Only the faint glow of torches far away flickered against the walls. The human crouched, his blood dripping from the cut on his arm. He tore a strip of cloth from his cloak, wrapping it tight. His teeth clenched against the sting. The twins watched silently, their glowing eyes trembling with guilt. It is not your fault, the human said firmly, noticing their expression. Do not carry my wound as your burden. The older twin bit her lip, her small hands curling. They come for us. Always for us, the younger twin whispered, her voice cracking. You should leave us. Human, if you stay, they will kill you too. The human looked at them, eyes steady. I chose you, do you understand? I do not turn from my choice. Tears welled in their eyes, but before more words could pass, a sound stirred in the shadows. A voice old and raspy echoed through the warehouse. So it is true. The bloodline still breathes, the human spun. Knife ready, the twins shrank behind him. From the dark stepped an alien cloaked in rags, his eyes milky with age, his body bent, yet his presence heavy. He leaned on a staff carved with strange runes. The twins gasped, recognition in their faces. Elder Vera, the older whispered. The human frowned. You know him, the elder nodded slowly. I was sworn to your family long before the fall. Little ones I searched for years, and at last, here you are. The human's mind raced. Family, fall, bloodline. These words twisted with the whispers he had heard. What are they? He demanded, his knife still firm. Why does the world hunt children? The elder's eyes turned to him, sharp despite the haze of age. They are not mere children, human, they are heirs. The last of the royal line of Elthar. The twins lowered their heads, shame pressing down on their small shoulders. The human froze, the words sinking like stone in his chest. Royal, heirs. The elder nodded again. Their parents were slaughtered when the throne was seized. The bloodline was hunted. The empire feared what these two could become, so they were hidden as slaves, disguised as rejects, so no one would know. The human's jaw tightened. He looked at the twins, their thin faces pale, their eyes glowing faintly, not with sickness, not with curse, but with power. The elder continued, his voice heavy with sorrow. The power in their veins is not accident. It is the gift of their blood, the royal gift to shape energy, to command what others cannot. It is why soldiers chase them. It is why traitors whisper of their deaths if these children rise. The false king's throne will crumble. The human's chest burned. His heart pounding, he saw again the sparks of light in their hands, the floating metal, the whispers that bent the air. And now at last he understood. The older twin's voice broke the silence. We never wanted to be heirs, we only wanted to live, to eat, to breathe without chains. The younger clutched her sister. But no one sees us as children. Only as threats. The human lowered his knife, his hand trembling. He had saved them once, thinking they were simply abandoned. But now he knew the truth. He had not just chosen orphans. He had chosen the destiny of a fallen empire. He looked into their eyes, steady and calm. To me, you are not thrones or crowns, you are children. That is all I see, the twins gasped. Their small hands clutched his sleeve, tears streaming down their faces. No one had ever spoken those words to them. Not once in their short lives. The elder's eyes softened. Perhaps that is what they need most, not a throne, but someone who sees them as more than a weapon. Suddenly, a crash echoed outside. Torches flared through the cracks of the warehouse wall. Shouts rose. They are inside, surround it. The human cursed, pulling the twins close. The elder slammed his staff into the ground, the runes flaring with dim light. There is no more time. Take them, human. You must carry them far from this place, for if the soldiers catch them tonight, their bloodline ends forever. The human's pulse thundered. The twins' tears fell hot against his arm, but his resolve hardened. He nodded. Then we run. The elder raised his staff one last time. The walls groaned, stones cracking. A hidden door slid open behind the shadows, a narrow path leading into the underground. The human gripped the twins' hands, pulling them toward the passage. As the soldiers stormed through the main door, blades flashing, torches blazing, the human vanished into the dark tunnel with the twins. Above, the elder faced the enemy alone, his frail body straight, his staff glowing, his voice firm. You will not touch them tonight. And in the depths of the earth, the human whispered to the trembling twins, you are not alone anymore. Not while I breathe. The underground passage stretched like a vein beneath the ruined city, damp walls dripping with water, the air thick with the smell of stone and rot. The human led the twins forward, one hand gripping his knife, the other guiding their trembling steps. Behind them, the echo of battle rumbled, the elder's staff striking, soldiers shouting. The clash of steel fading into the distance, the younger twin whispered. He stayed behind for us, her voice trembling. The older nodded, tears in her glowing eyes. He will not survive. The human clenched his jaw, his heart heavy, but he forced his voice steady. Then you must live for him. The tunnel wound deeper, twisting into darkness, at last opening into a hidden chamber. Old crates, broken banners, and strange markings covered the walls. Before the human could study it, a figure stepped out of the shadows. Holding a torch, it was Corin, a smuggler the human once trusted. A man who had traded secrets and safe passages in exchange for coin, his scarred face lit by the torch's flame. You made it, Corin said smoothly, his eyes flicking to the twins. I heard the city guards hunted you. I guessed you'd come here. The human narrowed his eyes. You promised this place was safe. Corin smiled thinly. Safe. For the right price, the twins pressed closer. Sensing the shift, the air itself felt colder now. What price? The human asked slowly. His hand tightening on the knife, Corin's smirk widened. The bounty on those children is more than I could make in 10 lifetimes. The Empire wants their heads human, and I plan to deliver them. The older twin gasped, clutching her sister. You betrayed us. The human stepped in front of them, his voice low and dangerous. You'll have to kill me first. Corin's eyes gleamed. If that's what it takes. He whistled sharply, and from the shadows emerged more men. Cloaked and armed, smugglers turned hunters, their weapons glinting in the torchlight. The human's chest tightened. His knife felt small in his hand, but he planted his feet firm. You fool, Corin sneered. You think you can fight us all? You think your blade will stop greed? The human glanced back at the twins, their small bodies trembling, their eyes wide with terror. Then he turned forward again, his voice iron, not greed, but love. With a roar he lunged, his knife flashing. The chamber erupted in chaos, steel against steel, shouts and sparks filling the air. The smugglers rushed, blades cutting, fists striking. The human fought with fury. Every move fueled not by skill alone but by desperate will. He blocked one strike, slashed another. Pain seared across his shoulder, but he did not fall. The twins crouched near the wall, whispering in their strange tongue, their voices shaking but strong. Light flickered in their hands. Corin shouted, "Stop them before they use their cursed gift!" Two smugglers turned toward the children. Weapons raised, the human saw, his heart hammering. He shoved his blade into an enemy's chest, tearing it free. Blood sprang. Then he threw himself between the twins and the attackers, his body taking the blow of one blade, pain ripping through his side. The twins screamed, their eyes glowing like fire. The chamber shook. Crates splintered, metal rattled. The torches flared. Suddenly the smugglers staggered, their weapons torn from their hands by unseen force. Hurled against the walls with crushing impact, Corin froze, horror in his eyes. No, it cannot be. The royal blood truly lives, the human coughed. Blood on his lips, but he pushed himself upright, standing tall in front of the twins. They are not curses, Corin. They are hope. Corin's face twisted with rage. He lunged forward, dagger raised. But before he could strike, the older twin raised her hand, light exploding from her palm. The force slammed into Corin. Throwing him across the chamber, his body struck the wall with a sickening crack. Silence fell, broken only by the crackle of torches, the human's labored breathing, and the soft sobs of the twins. The human staggered, his hand pressed to his wound, but his eyes burned with fire. We must leave now. Before more come, the twins clung to him, their tears hot against his arm, their voices shaking. Why? Why do you suffer for us? He looked at them, his voice steady though weak. Because you are mine now, not by blood but by choice, and no man takes what I have chosen. The chamber door groaned, the sounds of boots echoing from above. More soldiers, more danger. The human dragged himself toward the tunnel's far end, each step heavy with blood and pain, the twins supporting him with their small hands, their eyes glowing brighter, as if their power itself was pushing him forward. Behind them, Corin's body lay still. His betrayal ended in death, but his words lingered,